just kind of getting my space a little bit ready, a little bit behind today. Um, Decided to try TikTok again. Um, it does TikTok things still, as far as I'm concerned. Um, it's all good. It's all good. I find that a lot more going on here. It feels like for me most days. Uh, let's see. Uh, let's see if I can get another sticker up there. Still doing New Year's resolution. Done. Start that poll. Let's see. There we go. So, are you still doing your New Year's resolutions? How is that going this morning, guys? I'm Coach Ken up in Anchorage, Alaska, giving it a few minutes as people come by, check things out. Good morning. I hope you're having an awesome day today. I'm up in Anchorage, Alaska. It is a cold day up here. We are 18 degrees, but I know if you're in the lower 48 or around the world, don't know what your weather is, but I know down in the lower 48, it's looking like there's some serious issues going on. So, what is your weather like? Like I said, we're expecting snow again in a couple of days, but would like to see those 30s again. That was kind of nice and stuff, but everything kind of froze back up again. But hey, it happens. Hey, I'm Coach Ken. I'm up in Anchorage, Alaska. Hope you guys are doing good today. Are you still doing that New Year's resolution? Take a moment, throw it up to the poll. Would love to hear kind of what's going on with you this morning and kind of what's happening. We're talking a little bit about that resolution. A big part of those resolutions have to do with our health, right? How if you made a resolution related to your health, let me know. Put it in the comment. What was that resolution? What were you hoping for with that resolution? Michigan and the real feel is negative 21. Johnny, be good. Larry Kirshner, how are you? I'm saying hi. Liam, good to see you. And the feel is negative 2. Oh, it's negative 2 in Michigan. I didn't see that first. So yeah, I bet. Oh, we were negative 21 without the feel. Liam, I'm doing good on this Friday morning. Good to be here. Good to see you guys. Where are you coming in from? Where are you at? So I'm up here in Alaska, Johnny. Be good. So yeah, we went to Fairbanks. It was negative 38 right around the holidays. We came back to Anchorage. It was negative 20s. We were that for a while. We got back up to 30, so it's like a 50-degree swing, and that was pretty rough. It was. And we got snow as well. So how are you guys coping in it? Michigan, I know you guys get hammered pretty good. Liam, you're over in Minnesota, so you guys are in the same kind of boat. You guys are right up there, feeling that weather, feeling that nastiness, right? A lot of people don't know what that's like, and I didn't for a long time. I'm a redneck from down south, and when I moved up to Alaska, that was a big change weather-wise. Started in Idaho and then went on up. My wife is been up here for over 20 years, so that was a big difference for me. Learning to live up in there. Hey, Ayla Cooper, how are you? Good to see you this morning. Right? So we've got some folks. One person said, yes, you are still working that New Year's resolution. How are you? Lil Chompers, how are you today? Awesome. Elliot, where are you guys coming in from? Is it Ayla? Type in the comments, where are you guys coming in from? Love to hear where you are at, because I'm in Alaska, so, and most people don't get to meet people. We don't usually get on, it doesn't seem like. Hi, Dakota. How are you? How are you? How are you guys doing on your New Year's resolution? Omaha, Omaha. Dakota, hi. I'm coming from Illinois, little chompers. Awesome. We're in Illinois. I've been through Illinois a little bit. I lived in Kentucky for a couple of years, and then I moved to St. Louis. So I had to get through that state to get Indiana and Illinois to get over there. So some of y'all are giving up on that New Year's resolution. Man, I tell you what, it can be a challenge, right? It can be a challenge. Just out of curiosity, was where did your resolution lie? What? And I'm going to put it in simple. Oh, thank you for the sub. Thank you so much, Ayla. Um, when you think about it, would you say it is related to your body, your health? Is it related to your mindset, things you need to learn, or is it related to a spiritual one? And I wouldn't put relationship wise. If it was one of those four, type in the comments. Was it body, mind, soul relationship? Where did it fit for you? What was that New Year's resolution? Uh, I'm just curiosity. Thank you, Ayla. I appreciate the likes. Thank y'all so very much. I've been doing. I'm getting over here from TikTok. TikTok was so infuriating. I still do it, but it's just. Oh God, I've always loved YouTube so much more. And I've had two channels on here. Actually, I have a couple of channels on here. More than two. Two is a couple, right? So you have TikTok. As a creator over there, it has since July. I went from averaging like 45 to 60 people to three. And stuff gets lost. People can't find the stuff that you create. There, and it got frustrating as a creator. That's really irritating when you have that and all of a sudden and then they don't throw it out. So it's like I'd rather come over to YouTube, where what I do, I get to, now that YouTube started doing this, it's like okay, it takes a little bit of getting used to and learning it a little bit, but you keep doing it and you keep after it. Ayla, are you a creator? Are you just come on and do it? um, and for me, I'm a health coach, nutrition coach actually, but I focus on other areas of health. And my wife and I, we talk about metabolic health and getting healthy. So, but I'm also been a pastor for 30 years. So I've been full-time clergy. I'm actually doing a Facebook Live. I've been asked to be a part of an interview panel today, 11 o'clock Alaska time. I think it's 3 o'clock. So you're a creator as well. That's awesome, Ayla. Um, that's awesome. What are your subjects that you deal with um, when you get on there? What do you focus on? I don't think I've ever had another creator come on one of my lives before. So totally cool. Usually on TikTok, it's all other health people. And I'm married to my wife, Dr. G, and getting her into this has been fun. So it's a challenge because she knows so much stuff. We did a live last night, and we're doing a lot of stuff. Dancing. All right, you do dancing. Awesome. I like the it's like you're a little hesitant there. Um, so hey, not a problem. So here's the thing. When I ask this, I mean this is really important because when we think about that New Year's resolution, what is it that you're focusing on? And for a lot of people, we look at that and go, we kind of kick it to the curb when we start to feel like, what resolution? And when we don't do it anymore, it's like, God, we're just going to forget about it, screw it, put it in the trash, put it in the recycling bin. I'm done with it. And that's frustrating. And, I always hated New Year's resolutions. I thought they were a pain in the ass because if you're going to make a change, make the damn change, right? Just make the change. If you've got to make the change, what are you waiting for? That's always been kind of my philosophy to it. This year, I kind of looked at it a little bit different. and really looking at the whole person, body, mind, soul, has been a huge part of that. So, um, um, so here's the thing. One of the things, do you want to know my TikTok and YouTube account? Absolutely, put it in there. Would love to know that. And anybody that wants to follow definitely needs to subscribe to you. Absolutely. You showed up. I definitely would love to see that. Put in your account. Let me know where to follow you at. I would definitely return the favor, for sure. One of the simplest things today I was looking at, doing a little bit of my research, is and really challenging people. If there's one thing you could do to help with your health, is to focus right now on protein. And if you're in the lower 48 and you're in the path of the storm and you're going to get your milk and your bread and all, all of that, right? Go get protein. Focus on protein. Get like a can of tuna. Get salmon in a can. Salmon's a great protein. Chicken, ham. You can get beef. You can get everything in there. Get protein. Do not neglect the protein. Those carbs are not what you need. All right, that blood sugar spike that you get from bread, that is spiking your insulin levels. All of the issues dealing with insulin resistance are your YouTube is Ayla Cooper. Okay, I will definitely check that out. Let me I'm gonna this is gonna go green screen for a second real quick. I wish it would let me pick it first before it did that. But one of the biggest thing that we deal with is something called insulin resistance. And if you're not familiar with it, I hope this might help a little bit. Um, is to just kind of get an idea of what we're dealing with. And what doesn't get talked about nearly enough is these issues right here. And protein plays a huge part in helping with insulin resistance. A huge part of that, right? Here's a question for you. What is your favorite protein? And I ask because the thing about it is you can enjoy a great eating pattern. I don't limit people. As a nutrition coach, it's knowing, hey, the new food pyramid, spot on. Spot on. I call it a funnel because they just turned it upside down. When you eat the pyramid, that's kind of what your body looks like, my wife says, right? But when we turn it around and we do it like chicken, yeah, absolutely, like chicken. Absolute chicken, um, beef, uh, ham, fish, any of that. Tofu. There's beans, also fiber and protein together. Lentils. If you're vegetarian or vegan, here's the thing that we don't talk about is how much we need to get, and that is really a key part of it. So I talk about meal order eating because that's key to helping with insulin resistance. Fiber, fats, and proteins. We eat fiber, fats, and proteins. Fiber is the carbohydrate that does actually to control blood sugar levels. Now, this is a fiber matrix of 7 different soluble and insoluble fibers here. These are fibers we actually have been eating. So if you hear fiber and you think Metamucil and people sit there and go, yeah, just get Metamucil, that's psyllium husk. We as human beings have never eaten psyllium husk. We don't eat psyllium husk. It's like, do we eat dirt? Then why are we eating psyllium husk? Does it help? It helps us poo. That, but that's not a fiber that we've ever eaten. It's crazy. Guar gum, locust bean gum are actual foods. Citrus pectin is actual food. It's in apples. That's in the apple peel. All right, those are fibers we actually eat. Those are fibers that are in here. This is full of polyphenols. Again, plant fibers that we actually eat. All right, but that's been taken out of our food, right? That's the thing that we don't hear enough about. And fiber is the carb that helps with insulin. It slows the blood sugar spike. So let me see, because here's the thing that's happened to our food is we've gotten into this dilemma. I'm probably going to go back and forth between these. This modern food environment that we're in is that we're taught to eat all day. How many meals a day were you taught to eat? And if you have as one of your New Year's resolutions to work on your health, that's a huge part of it. That is a huge part of this. And this is our modern diet dilemma, is that we've been taught to eat all day long. And think about how many meals a day were you taught to eat? Was it 3 or 6? Are you answering me? Ayla, yeah, I did. I said you asked about chicken. Yes, that's good protein. That is great protein to be in. Absolutely. Are you not hearing? So absolutely, I definitely. I'm trying to answer. Absolutely, chicken is a great protein. I've got a whole list of them that I coach on when it comes to what to eat. Um, so yeah, and if you're a dancer, you got to be healthy. You got to stay that way, right? So here's the thing: is the fiber's been taken out of our food. Remember pectin right here? That's that apple peel. But we are taught to drink apple juice like that's going to be healthy for us, and because there's no fiber. Our blood sugar spikes and our insulin increases every time. And when insulin is high, it's our fat cells go, they blow up. When insulin is low, they go. That's from Dr. Ben Bickman, who studies fat, is leading metabolic scientist. If you haven't seen Ben Bickman, you need to check him out. He's like all over YouTube, and great interviews, great teacher when it comes to this issue right here, that is not being talked about. All right, it's not being talked about. And it goes back to the whole issue of insulin resistance. All of these signs, and maybe you recognize some of them. If it's not you, then who? I'm going to come back over here. Oh, wow, that's bright. I don't want that being. Yeesh, that's way too bright. Whew, man. I don't know why that's doing that. I don't. Whoa. All right. Where's that tent feature? We got to get that lighting way too much. Wow. I'm sorry, man. That is like washing everything out. I cannot get this to do. Anybody know about this one? Anybody got any tips on this? Relight off. There we go. That's helpful. Okay. So, diabetes, cancer, obesity, neuropathy, all right? Maybe you're dealing with migraines, heart disease. And if it's not you, then who? And here's the thing, some of those are stuff that we don't even think about that are connected. Craving the carbs, right? What is that favorite snack that you got to have? What is the one that keeps throwing off that New Year's resolution, right? To lose weight. How about fatty liver disease, ladies? PCOS, leading reason for women not being able to get pregnant. Polycystic ovary syndrome, right? Men, low testosterone. I've got a video over on my channel, Dr. Lindsay Venn, about men's health and about low testosterone, all related to this right here, insulin resistance. Okay? Insulin resistance. Huge thing that is not being talked about. When we think about insulin, what do you think about? You think about diabetes. But you could be insulin resistant with all of these things 10 to 15 years before it ever shows up. Before your doctor, oh, thanks, I appreciate that. Before your doctor gives you any diagnosis, you could be insulin resistant. Okay? That's huge. And this is where Dr. G and I were. This is a big part of where our journey was at. And I tell people, here's the thing. When we were diagnosed with diabetes, all right, my wife is a doctor. Her doctor just said, take these meds. She's asking questions. Her doctor said, I don't have time to answer your questions. Take these meds. My wife says, I'm not taking the meds. I'm not just listening to that and just taking medication. She got on the phone. She called a friend who was a nurse and a diabetes educator that said, thank you so very much. She is beautiful. I call her the beautiful Dr. G because that's what she is. And so what we did, she started doing this. She ordered the tea and the fiber. All right. So what she started doing was changing her life. And I watched it happen right in front of me. I watched her start to lose weight. I start to see the neuropathy, the pain, the fibromyalgia, all of the inflammation, every single thing stopped and disappeared. Now, when I say this, this is what I'm talking about. I listened to my wife and it saved my life. It took me a little while, but in May, I'd been diagnosed with diabetes. I had heart disease. I had a lot of those things on the list of insulin resistance. I was 200 pounds, which was 50 pounds more than what I should have been. So I started doing the tea and the fiber. And the crazy part about it was how easy this was. Without doing any crazy dieting, without restricting anything, but simply starting to drink the tea and the fiber and learning how to eat correctly. I went from that guy to that guy. Dr. G went from this lady to this lady, and we're still getting better. We are still getting better on this journey. We've been doing this for 18 months. Dr. G's been over a year doing this. And here's the thing, it was the simplest thing that we could possibly do. Simplest thing we could do. And this is how I keep that resolution. My goal is to stay at 150. You know what? Your weight's not going to be stable. You're going to eat, right? So right now I got up around 160. So part of that is just it's winter time here in Alaska. Your body's putting it on because we're trying to stay warm, right? So I recognize that. I maintain. I do intermittent fasting. Here's what we do. This is as simple as it gets. And I want to share with you just how easy this is to do. You've heard a little bit about my story. And here's the thing. This is the tea that you can drink hot or cold. And it's one of the best energy drinks on the planet. You drink the tea hot or cold, all right, or room temperature if you want. The benefits are it's anti-inflammatory, all right, so it's going to help with that in your body. It's an appetite suppressant, so help stimulate your body's GLP-1, all right, to help with those cravings. If weight loss is an issue for you, you just want to stack anymore. It gives you natural energy. It is full of theobromine and natural caffeine, not anything injected in there. This comes just from what the plant has. It's in a concentrated form and it regulates blood pressure. It increases fat burning in a fasted state up to 70%. That's key right there. If you're in that place, and the great part about it, we'll talk about this, you can look at it as comparable to Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, in that it stimulates your body to make its GLP-1. Glucagon-like peptide 1, do the research. I want you to look it up. Don't just take my word for it. That's what we're talking about. It also works like metformin. You're going to get a lot of that. Hey, Parkour God, good to see you this morning. The fiber matrix. I talked a little bit about this already. Here's the thing. The fiber is 7 different soluble and insoluble fibers. The thing about this, these are fibers we actually eat. Okay, thank y'all for the likes. I appreciate the hearts and everything. All right. Thank y'all so very much, and for letting people know and sharing this has been awesome. Thank y'all so much for supporting. If you haven't subbed, make sure you do that. And how is that New Year's resolution going? So here's the thing. We want to throw this one out there. So when you have Metamucil, and maybe you have a family member, somebody you know that's doing Metamucil, that's psyllium husk. Can I tell you a secret about psyllium husk? We don't eat that. We've never eaten that. Human beings don't eat psyllium. Did you see what I sent in chat? No, I didn't. I saw a heart that you sent me. Is that what you were talking about? Thank you for that. I'm kind of getting used to this. Thank you for being patient with me, Ayla. I'm kind of used to getting used still to. It's very different than TikTok. So this live feature and YouTube, everybody's live is different. So still getting used to it. But psyllium husk, we've never eaten. The fibers in here, guar gum, locust bean gum, citrus pectin, all of that are foods. Those are fibers we eat in the foods, and we've been eating them for thousands of years. There's a blend of 7 of those here. And why this is important is it slows the absorption and digestion of our food. It also helps to slow the absorption of blood sugar. All right, so the sugar that we consume, because our bodies start to digest the sugars, those simple carbohydrates, breads, rice, pastas, corn, right in the mouth. Okay, so it's in the PDR.net, the physician's desk reference. All right, when you go to the PDR.net, that is, see if I have my, um, oh goodness, let me see if I can pull it up right here. So I'm talking a little bit, and I'm enjoying hanging out with you guys more than anything. So let's see if we do this. So here's the book right here, the PDR. All right, this is where your doctors go to do prescription drugs. They write their prescriptions right out of this. This is in there. All right, there's no other nutraceutical that does what this does that's in there to reverse insulin resistance, diabetes, those issues. All right, we're talking about HSA and FSA qualified. 50 countries is where you're going to find, actually 60 now. It's patented and it's guaranteed for 90 days. They give you a 90-day money-back guarantee, so there's nothing to lose, all right? And there's no side effects. You can take this to your doctor. If there's somebody that you love that needs to know about this, right, that has got these signs, you need to tell them about this. You tell them that there's a bald guy on TikTok. There's this Coach Ken, right, sitting on there talking about reversing insulin resistance. And I know it's crazy to say that, but that's really what it is. And we'll throw out some testimonies here in a little bit. And I'm trying to see where I put my tablet so we can do that. But we got to learn how to do this correctly. So here's the thing. What we're going to do is we're not going to have the side effects like metformin, like statin medications. They don't have side effects. The tea and the fiber do not have side effects. And what they do is they supercharge the right way of eating, which is the intermittent fasting. All right. Without the protocol, you can see our blood sugar spiking when we're not eating correctly. The protocol helps to bring that all under control. And that's what it did for me and Dr. G. We'll share some testimonies. So here's how we do intermittent fasting. How many of y'all have tried intermittent fasting? If you have, type yes. If you've never done intermittent fasting, type no. Or if you've heard about it and you've kind of wondered about it. That's a big part of what I do as a coach, all right, as a nutrition coach, certified nutrition coach. CPD is where I did my training, and I'm working right now specializing in insulin resistance and metabolic health, furthering my education, all right, and doing the experience of all of the clients that I've helped with this is to help people heal. So if you've got questions, intermittent fasting, here's a simple way that we do this. What we do is our goal is to get to 16 to 18 hours every day. So the first thing is when you wake up in the morning, you drink the yerba mate. All right, this yerba mate tea, we just sip on it just like I'm doing this morning. We just start sipping on it. All right, we take it really as soon as I wake up. And that begins to increase my body's GLP-1 right out of the gate. All right, we mix one in about 16 to 40 ounces. I drink one a day. I drink a big 28 to 40 ounces of it. And I sip on one. And then that tea, I'm going to sip on about half of it for 3 to 4 hours in the morning. Then I'm going to finish it up the rest of the day. Here's the next part. That we're going to break that fast around lunchtime. Maybe around 10, maybe around 12 o'clock is when we want to break our fast. Now, when I use and talk about fasting, it's intimidating. People think fasting, ooh. You know, as a pastor, I've been doing fasting and I teach it. You know, this is a simple thing to do. What it also does is it increases your metabolism. When you are doing time-based eating, we're talking about eating 2 meals a day. We're talking about your health. We're talking about stimulating your body to make stem cells, your human growth hormones. This picture, here's the thing. When you do this, I want to show the picture again of me and Dr. G. And if you look carefully at this, you're going to see really what we did is we started to age in reverse. That's what human growth hormone does. That's what stem cells do. We look younger because that's how we feel. That's what our bodies are showing, that we don't have the inflammation. We have the health. The visceral fat has dropped off. Our skin has renewed, because that's what happens when you're getting in this state of healthiness and homeostasis. And if there's something that we know is autophagy does that. And when we get to 16 hours is where autophagy begins when it comes to intermittent fasting. All right, we want to focus on protein. When y'all came in, I was talking about the protein. We want to focus on protein, good protein. What does that look like? We want to make sure we get good proteins, fish, salmon. So if you're in the lower 48, we've got the storm coming. Go get cans of food, all right? Salmon, tuna, chicken, ham. Get good proteins, all right, that would sustain. If you lose power, those are great options, all right. If not, you can be a vegetarian. Get lentils, get beans, get some peanut butter, get the good stuff, not with all the sugar in it. We want to avoid that. And I'm gonna tease this. We're going to do a 14-day no sugar challenge coming up here in just about a week. So as we move into February, you're going to hear more about that. We're going to do a no sugar challenge. We're going to help you with that. So it's going to be awesome. The change is going to be incredible. So when you get the peanut butter, if you go to Costco, that is going to be great. But focus on protein. That's going to be huge. Focus on a protein meal. All right. And why would we do that? Because carbs turn to sugar. Breads, rice, pastas, corn, potatoes, all of that turns to sugar. It's been taken out of our food, our processed food. We don't get the nutrients in our soil. We want to make sure that we're getting our terrain, our body healthy. Totally key. All right, eat breakfast foods. People say, I can't have breakfast. Eat your breakfast foods at lunch. Eggs, bacon, eat it for lunch. All right, do that. The tea is going to help quiet the food noise. The tea helps to quiet the food noise. That GLP-1 increasing does it. The fiber does that as well. All right, we get to eat. And no snacking. All right, no snacking. That's really the easiest thing to do right there. All right, when you get to dinner, all right, we're not going to snack. We're going to drink on the tea. Now, I have some cheats that you can do as well. Pickles are a great option. Pickles are my favorite thing to have right in there. If you can get sugar-free Jello, I know that like makes some people cringe. It just helps, right? Celery in a little bit can be there. Those are not going to break a fast. That's really just a lot of water. So just keep that in mind. But really, ultimately, no snacking. Nothing in a bag, in a box, in a bottle with a barcode. No. All right? When we get to dinner, we make sure to have fiber. Now, like I said, I do 2 of these a day. I do them with my lunch meal, and I do it with my dinner meal. I make sure to have the fiber. We're not tracking anything. Your body's not a calculator. We don't count calories. Not what we're doing here, all right? Yes, you can still drink coffee. Just don't put the crap in it. Don't put the crap in the coffee. That's key, all right? How much does it cost? Of course, that's always a question. I want to put it, think about this as investing. Think about this as investing in your health. If anything, we went by the gas station the other day. Dr. G got a Reese's peanut butter cup pack, a pack of 4, right? The big ones. $4. $4. That's not even including a soda, which is another $2.50. So with the packets right here, this comes to about $5.40 a day. You get either 2 teas and 1 fiber, or 2 fibers and 1 tea. And if you put this in a lot of water, you're drinking this on the whole day. I don't drink this, but this in water, which is what we need to be hydrated for our health, right? That's a huge part of this, right? That's as easy as it gets. That is so bloody simple. All right, you get a diamond bottle, you get the tea, so you're getting 90 packets for $5.40 a day. It comes to about $159 a month. All right, there's a link. I'm going to move this over here. My little pole will move it up there to the top. Didn't like that. All right, so didn't like that either. We'll make it smaller. Put it right over my face. How about that? Ooh, wow, look at that. I didn't know we could do that. That's kind of cool. That's kind of scary too. I don't know if I want to see myself like that. Right? That was kind of freaky. Woo! That was weird. I had no idea. Welcome to Ken Playing. Watch this. Woo! That was close. That was close. No one wants to see me that close. That's a little too much Ken in the morning, isn't it? All right. So there's flexibility in terms of shipping. You get to determine when it gets, and it comes right to your house. You don't have to go to the pharmacy to pick it up. All right. You get me and Dr. G as coaches. Right there's my number. You get that. You can text me. You can learn more about it. You can order it just by using this right here. That kenhagler.com takes you right over to my link tree to learn more about it. Now, here's ultimately what it's all about. So is changing people's lives, and you've heard what it did for me, but I think it's important for you to hear what it's done for other people. So if you're really interested in some real, these are the real life stories. I mean, besides that, what it did for us, these are stories of people whose lives that it has changed in unbelievable ways. Carolyn actually is going to be on a call with me next week. I'm excited about it. See
three
if we,
years ago when I noticed an unexpected weight gain, especially around my waist. I'll be 64 next month. I just couldn't figure out, what was going on. Here I am on this health journey, exercising regularly. So also I was diagnosed with scar and alopecia where my hair started falling out and thinning out. That's an autoimmune disease. Didn't know what caused it. I was eating Motrin like candy, which I knew I couldn't live that way because it would kill my kidneys and my stomach. And another thing I found out, my cholesterol went up. Hey, I'm plant-based. Why is my cholesterol up? So I feared with the weight gain. I was very devastated about what was going on with my health. I asked God for help. In June of last year, help came my way. And somebody introduced me to this wonderful protocol. I started taking it. I started
she's a
drinking this
nurse.
tea.
Keep
And
that in
then I
mind.
noticed I started losing weight. I couldn't believe it. I had been trying to lose the same weight for 3 years and nothing had come off. Something's going on here. But within 2 months, I had lost 20 pounds. My hair is no longer thinning. My cholesterol levels are now normal. And I don't take Motrin anymore for pain or for the neuropathies that I had going on. I was so excited. I was like, I got to shout this from the rooftop. I got to tell my testimony. This is amazing. And one of the first persons that saw me on my transformation, of course, is my husband. And he don't do anything when I do it because he said, I want to be able to tell the story if it don't come out right. So he didn't do it. But 2 months after I made my transformation, he decided to try the product. Well, my husband's been diabetic for 25 years. Within 4 months being on the protocol, he is no longer diabetic. He is no longer taking his medication for diabetes. He was like, I can't believe it. This protocol made a believer out of him. It has really changed and saved our life. Thank you so much, Trent.
All right, so she's going to be on call next Wednesday. We're going to be doing with her and Dr. G. I'm really excited. It's going to be an awesome thing. But again, she's not the only. This is so very important to realize the amount of people that this is. Now, Sherry, I have not heard her story, but I'm excited to share this one with you. I know because
My name's Sherry Bennett. I'm from Tennessee. I'm 67 years old. I have been overweight most of my adult life. I really was just scrolling through TikTok and I kept hearing all about this unicity. Came across Shannon Davis one day and it just got my attention. I started listening to everything she said and it just made perfect sense to me. And I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. I was on high blood pressure medicine. I was on cholesterol medicine. I weighed 273 pounds. And well, I started doing low carb January the 4th, 2023. Early part of 2023, I did do the Manjaro shots for a few months, but it didn't do anything as far as, I didn't feel it. I mean, I was losing weight and I was happy with that. And I started listening to Shannon and she talked about intermittent fasting, doing the low carb and the high protein and drinking these 2 drinks each day. So I thought, I'm just going to try it because I know I don't want to stay on medication. I don't want to take shots. I want off of all that. And so I ordered the system and I started using it in a very short time. Came completely off my high blood pressure medicine. Don't take high blood pressure medicine anymore. I don't take cholesterol medicine anymore. As of this morning, I weighed 176. And I truly think once I started this, that's when I started feeling so much better. I started having energy. I started wanting to go out and do things. These are magic.
So that's the Feel Great system. That's part of what I'm talking about.
I started wanting to go out and do things.
We're gonna get her off. I want y'all to hear from Jim. Let me see if I can find Jim's testimony, because it just he puts it all right in perspective. Probably better than anybody.
I had at my peak a 12.2% A1C. When we discovered I was type 2 diabetic, my mother-in-law came over with her little glucose meter. I had a fasting glucose of like 470. It was absolutely through the roof. I started max dose of metformin, 2,000 milligrams a day. And then I was on a max dose of Trulicity. That's the GLP-1 that I was on. And then I was on 40 milligrams a day of rosuvastatin because that's what you do. You have type 2 diabetes, you get on a statin. I started this in the beginning of January February in 2023. I wasn't looking for this. I had a friend of mine that was talking about it, and she said, you should try this. A lot of people are reversing type 2 diabetes. I thought, you're smart. Don't say stupid thing. You can't reverse type 2 diabetes. Honestly, at that time, Trulicity was on national back order. I didn't have a choice. I couldn't get my medication. And so I did start it out of trust. February 16th, I got a call from my endocrinologist saying that I could quit taking my medications altogether. My glucose numbers were in the norm. And then on April 20th, we tested my A1C and it was 5.2. In August, it was back down to 5.1. This is 2023. In October, I had it pulled again. So I've been unmedicated at that point for 20 months. It was 4.8. It just keeps going down. And you mentioned my triglycerides to HDL. I didn't know anything about that. But when they initially pulled my numbers, it was a 561 triglycerides and a 22 HDL. And so the ratio was 25.5. I spent 25 years getting sick. My message to everybody listening is if somebody's telling you about this, you should try it.
It doesn't matter how old you are. This is about your metabolic health. This is about you and me and all of us. I remember, Ayla, how are you? It is good to see you. Welcome back in. Where are you coming from, by the way? I don't think you ever shared where you were living at. Where do you call home? I'm up in Anchorage, Alaska. And we are talking about, I'm going to pull this right back up here, about what Jim was talking about, insulin resistance, about our overall health, about the things. You're down in Omaha. Okay. All right. Down in Nebraska. Very good. Awesome. We're talking about this right here. And if there's somebody that you know that you care about, and maybe it's you, most people ignore this. Most people are ignoring this. I think there's three types of people. I think there's three types of people in this world. There are people that they're happy being sick. They got sick and you're happy being sick. If that's you, okay. The second one is there are people that are happy to be on medications. They are happy to go to a doctor and get a magic pill. They're going to get this right here and they're going to be on it. I mean, and they've got them bigger than this, right? I said there are three types of people in this world. There are people that are happy being sick, and I've known plenty of people. They are happy with it. They like to be sick because they get attention, right? They love this list right here. If they could have more and more of this, they'd be happy with it. There's then a group of people that love to be on medications. They love to go to the doctor. They'll get the doctor's attention. They feel cared for, but this doesn't cure anything. This covers over. When it comes to chronic diseases that are related to how we eat, those don't cure anything. They're Band-Aids. But then there's that third group of people, and maybe this is where you are. This is where I got to, thanks to my wife. People that want to get healthy. They want to get whole, and they recognize that what Hippocrates said 2,000 years ago is the reality. Let food be thy medicine, let medicine be thy food. Learning to eat correctly, letting food do what food does. Look, metabolism has everything to do with the foods that we eat and drink. This is why the protocol that Jim was just talking about is so important. Sipping on the tea, this is food. Fiber, this is food. This is what I talk about. This is what I teach. This is what I help people with. And if you're sick of what's up here, and if you're sick of people throwing nonsense out there, and are promoting this, and you're going, you know what, I had a New Year's resolution and it went to crap, right? Because no one taught you didn't have any guidance. That's what I do as a nutrition coach. It's why I get on here. It's why I make the videos. It's why Dr. G and I do lives. It's why we work with people, is to help with this. And if you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, I don't think there's another live on this platform talking about what I'm talking about on live. And I'm doing this now every day. And I want to have that conversation. Because I know if we don't have the conversation, then we're not getting anywhere. And we live in a place and a time that we are so focused on all of a quick fix that we would take a pill every day over a plant. We would take a pill over a plant every single day. Right? We will take, and people will do it, we will take a shot over a plant, over protein. You would take a shot over a steak any day of the week, or a salad, whatever it happens to be. How about we not do that? How about we make the change? How about we focus on health? I know I didn't let anybody really get kind of the edgewise here. But solving this is that's the root of today's struggle. Like it says right there, that's the root of our problem right here. And is it something you're dealing with? And if it's not you, then who is it? When you look at this, how many of y'all know somebody dealing with migraines? You don't have to say it's you. If you know somebody dealing with migraines, type of 1. How about skin tags? Type of 1. Do you know somebody dealing with cancer? Type of 1. Prediabetes or diabetes, type 1. How about overweight? You can stand to lose just a little bit, type of 1. Do you know Ross Parka or Malcolm X or Martin Luther King? Interesting. Actually, I pastored with one of Rosa Parks' lawyers. He became a pastor, John Cromarty. Knew Rosa Parks personally, and I definitely I know who all of them are. Your mom. I don't know. I can't say that I know your mom, Ayla. But yeah, I've spent a lot of time at the Martin Luther King Center. I knew pastors that knew Martin Luther King, and love that message. And one of the things that they were for is justice. And in my tradition, as a Methodist clergy, justice is a big thing. To me, this is a justice issue. Your mom has cancer. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm a cancer survivor. Dr. G's a cancer survivor. My late wife, Heather, died of colon cancer. And I'm really sorry for that. Can I pray for you? Can I pray for your mom? Do you mind if I do that? Would that be all right? Is that a yes to taking a moment to pray? I don't think some people like that. I had people on here, they jumped off when I said if I asked if you wanted me to pray, if I could pray. If that's okay, God, I just want to pray for Ayla's mom today in this fight with cancer. I just pray that you would surround her with your comfort, that you would, as Romans says, that your spirit would testify with her spirit that she's a child of God, that you are with her. We pray for your healing to be with her. We pray for Ayla as she tries to comfort her and for her whole family. God, we pray the doctors can be your hands and feet, and that you will work a miracle in her world and in her life, that she would know you and come closer to you, and that the whole family would be strengthened by this endeavor and this challenge in front of them. We ask these things in your holy and precious name. Amen. So I've been a pastor for 30 years. So for me, that is a whole justice issue. We are sitting here, and today I'm going to be on at 3 p.m. Eastern time, talking about some of these things. You're so very welcome that I speak on this because I want to have health. Like I said, my wife would still be here. I am convinced with fiber, colon cancer is one of the fastest growing cancers in the millennial generation, and she would still be here. And my kids don't have their mom anymore because we didn't know. We didn't know, and we didn't get any answers from the doctors or anybody. So that was huge. So if you're interested in the tea and fiber, right here is where you're going to go. This is my link tree. Jump on that. Check it out. Would be happy to be your coach. Would love to work with you. Make sure you check out some of the videos that I have up there. Look, go get the day. Make it golden. Go be excellent, and go be excellent to the people that you meet. Be excellent to everybody in your path. Live the golden rule. Do that. That's what I try to do. That's why I'm here talking about what I'm talking about. Thank y'all so much. Those of y'all that have subbed, those of y'all that have been here. Ayla, great to see you. Wait, your wife? But you should. That's my second wife. That's my second wife. So that is Dr. G, who I'm married to now. sorry to have some confusion. So I'm married to Dr. G now, who is also a cancer survivor. Didn't mean to confuse you. So you know, if you go and search me online, you will find me. So you know, this is my first wife. This is Heather, um, that died of colon cancer. So we were married for 21 years. And this would have been our 30-year anniversary in January, if she'd still been here. It's been kind of a hard month for me. Um, so, so it, but, I would never have met Dr. G. I wouldn't be where I'm at today. It shaped me and changed me. And like I said, it's given me a passion because I want to help people, and to make a difference. And it's bullcrap that we're not talking about it. We're not addressing it. No one's talking about it. And I find like on this platform, we can actually talk about these things. The other platforms, it's like, oh, man, you get restricted. I mean, I can talk about all the crap. I wrote my books. If you go look on Amazon, I've got books. I actually have finished her book, and wrote my first book called Life Sucks, Seek God. I'm sorry, you know what that's hard. That's hard. When you lose a parent, you lose your father. I'm sorry to hear that. And then to have your mom have cancer, that bloody sucks. And that for me is the thing that I keep fighting for is my health, because my kids have already lost their mom. They're just in their 20s. I mean, they're on their own. But you know what? That's why I do this. That's why this is so important for us to address our health. So thank y'all for being here. I need to go, but I appreciate y'all being here. Make sure if you didn't subscribe, share this channel, let people know about it, bring people here, get people here, because what I'm doing is helping to save lives, to make life better. Thanks so much, and we'll see you back around on the flip side.